Ever feel like you're walking on eggshells at work, constantly trying to please a boss who just can't be satisfied? You're not alone. This isn't a new problem. In fact, if we look back through history, we can see this dynamic playing out in countless courts, guilds, and workplaces. The story of the unshakable court advisor is a classic one. Imagine ancient Rome or imperial China. You have an emperor, powerful and revered, but also deeply narcissistic. He surrounds himself with advisors who only tell him what he wants to hear. They shower him with praise, agree with his every whim, and scramble to take credit for successes while pointing fingers for failures. These are the sycophants, the yes-men. They survive for a while, basking in the temporary glow of the emperor's favor, but their position is precarious. One wrong move, one perceived slight, and they're cast out. Their entire existence is based on managing the ruler's ego, not on actual competence or truth. This constant pressure to please, to never disagree, creates a toxic environment where real progress is impossible. Good ideas are stifled because they might challenge the emperor's view. Honest feedback is seen as a betrayal. Everyone is operating out of fear. Now, picture a different kind of advisor in that same court. This person is competent, confident, and grounded in their own principles. They understand the emperor's personality, but they refuse to play the game of constant flattery. When the emperor proposes a flawed plan, this advisor doesn't just say yes. Instead, they present their feedback calmly and strategically. They might say, "Your Majesty, that is a bold vision. To ensure its magnificent success, perhaps we should consider these potential challenges first." They frame their concerns not as criticism, but as a way to help the ruler achieve even greater glory. They focus on facts, data, and objective reality, not on emotional appeals or ego-stroking. They don't react emotionally when the emperor gets angry or tries to belittle them. They remain a steady, reliable source of truth. This advisor isn't immune to the emperor's wrath, of course. It's a dangerous path. But by not caving under pressure, they build a different kind of value. The emperor, despite his narcissism, eventually recognizes that this advisor is the only one providing real, useful counsel. While the flatterers come and go, the steady advisor often becomes indispensable. Their power isn't borrowed from the emperor's mood. It's earned through their own integrity and resilience. Let's bring this into the modern office. Your narcissistic boss isn't an emperor, but the psychological dynamics are strikingly similar. They thrive on admiration, demand loyalty, and often react poorly to criticism. When they put you on the spot, pressure you into an unreasonable deadline, or try to gaslight you, the instinct is to cave, to say yes to everything, to apologize for things that aren't your fault, just to keep the peace. But just like the sycophants in the emperor's court, this is a short-term strategy. It makes you an easy target. The more you give in, the more they will demand. You teach them that you can be pushed around. So, how do you become the steady advisor instead of the frightened courtier? First, know your stuff. Be so good at your job that your value is undeniable. Your confidence must be rooted in your competence. When your boss challenges you, you can stand firm on the basis of facts and evidence, not just opinions. Next, learn to manage your own emotional reactions. A narcissistic boss often uses emotional manipulation, whether it's anger, guilt, or charm, to get what they want. They want to see you flustered. When you feel that pressure mounting, take a deep breath. Respond, don't react. Use neutral, objective language. Instead of saying, "That's impossible," try to meet that deadline with the quality we all want. "I will need these specific resources," or "Let S review the current priorities to see how we can fit this in." This shifts the conversation from a personal confrontation to a practical problem-solving session. You're not saying no. You're outlining the reality of the situation. This technique, called grey rocking in modern psychology, involves becoming as uninteresting and unreactive as a grey rock. When they can't get an emotional rise out of you, their tactics lose power. You stop being a source of their narcissistic supply. Finally, document everything and build alliances. The steady advisor was never truly alone. They had the respect of other competent people in the court. Keep a private record of unreasonable requests, your professional responses, and project outcomes. This isn't for tattling. It's for your own clarity and protection. It helps you track patterns and protects you from gaslighting when the boss tries to rewrite history. Also, build healthy professional relationships with your colleagues. A supportive network can validate your experiences and offer practical advice. It reminds you that you're not the crazy one. Not caving under pressure doesn't mean being confrontational or aggressive. It means being strategically firm. It's about holding on to your professional integrity and your own sense of reality, even when someone is actively trying to distort it. It is a skill honed through practice that transforms you from a victim of a toxic environment into a resilient and respected professional. Just like that wise advisor from history, you become valuable not because you flatter, but because you are steadfast. Thanks for watching.